Well, not completely. Obviously, your loved ones, the ones that are closest to you, and the tax man. But generally, people don't really care about you. But why are people so wrapped up in their own lives? It's interesting that many people have issues with their own lives and sadness with their own lives because they're kind of stuck in a trap, of having to work hard and long and paying for the stuff they don't really want to pay for. But it seems that so many people are just submerged, whether that's financially, whether that's sensorily, but people really struggle to stop and enjoy life for what it is and just be able to be relaxed and happy and free. But they're just constantly submerged in their own little bubble, their own little world. But you might say, well, that's everybody, Paul. Everybody's like that. Not everybody. If you stop for a moment and you have a little look around, you'll see that there are a lot of people that are enjoying being alive. Now, in our country, in this country, in the UK, a lot of people are focused on bringing in the money to pay for the lifestyle they want. But a lot of people don't actually want that lifestyle. They just think that's the norm and that's the only way. But how do you become not submerged, not wrapped up in your own little world? That's some of the hardest questions that you have to ask yourself. So if you don't distract yourself constantly with music and YouTube and Instagram and social media and other people's dramas, if you don't do that and you focus on educating yourself, making yourself a better person by, going to the gym and getting some exercise, eating healthily, and surrounding yourself with good people. And when I say good people, I mean people that are projecting positive, happy vibes. People with a glass half full of water and not half empty. That's where the life and energy comes from, is people with more energy and happiness. Yes, I know we still got to pay the bills and we still got to bring in money and we still got to do the chores. But at some point you can think to yourself, I can live without Sky TV. I can live without 5 takeouts a week. I can live without a posh new car. And start being a bit more humble with your purchases. And then slowly but surely you will become less owned by what you own and more free to enjoy some of the free natural things in life, like walking up a big hill, doing the 3-peak challenge, or doing something that's going to fulfill you emotionally and mentally within your heart and within your person. That's the kind of attitude and the positive outlook that real happy people have. Because if you see or you actually go to some of these poverty-stricken countries and you see children rooting through your bin, which I have, I've seen young children rooting through their bins to try and find recyclables to sell, and they didn't look like they were excited and happy. But we all get sucked into this bubble and our own little worlds and forget that there's some real terrible things out there, but a lot of real happiness as well. And you have to go outside your comfort zone. You have to stop some of those purchases, consuming so much. Once you stop consuming so much, you make yourself much more free and open. And some of the benefits of being outwardly facing, and ready for the unexpected. So you're less likely to get mugged or attacked if you don't have headphones on and a pair of flip-flops on. All right? Now, I'm not saying you should always be without headphones or you should always be looking around, but if you've got positive body language and you're going somewhere, you're much more likely to be left alone, and you're much more ready to see challenges that are coming towards you, whether it's, well, I call them chuggers, charity, young people working for a charity trying to get you to sign up, or whether it's somebody else that hasn't seen you and they're, pushing a pushchair and their eyes are on their phone, or a car that's just pulled out quickly, looking over to the one side and forgot to look back the other way. Being much more prepared and alive and awake and present in your society and where you are is going to at least minimize the risks of injury or something happening. So that's one of the key benefits, as well as I said, the emotional and mental and well-being within yourself. But the end goal is not just to love yourself and the world around you, but it's to remember that like a child, you're not born with this jaded, negative, angry attitude. You're not born with that. You look at children, they're really, really, really happy because they haven't gone through all the crap we've got. But you can be like that. You can start to let go. Now, an easy way I let go is, for example, you hear the announcements in the supermarket. Oh, God, I don't want to hear about this. But when you're on holiday and you hear the announcements over the tannoy, and you think, oh, this is really good. I don't understand what they're saying, so it doesn't bother me. Or when somebody talks about the politics in another country when you're there on holiday, think, well, doesn't matter to me. I don't live here. It's still the same attitude of letting go. Letting go of that history, that what do we call that? That identity, your identity and your heritage. So, for example, if, I don't know, maybe the government gave you a parking ticket, maybe you got fined, maybe something bad happened. But holding on to that as a negative energy really stops you from living your life, and just letting it go because it's done. What's happened has happened. Trying to find the happiness and that gratefulness to be alive. Like I said, like you watch children, but even if you see young people tend to be the most energetic, enthusiastic, and got loads of brilliant ideas. And they're not as jaded as us that are older. So if you're able to employ a young person, or if you're able to help a young person elevate themselves, whether it's in work or in their, their hobbies and things like that, if you're able to help other people, especially young people, it really does help you as well. It's kind of like giving to a homeless person or giving to charity. There's I don't know if I'll say this right, altruism, about feeling good by helping somebody else. Now, there's lots of ways you can bring that into your life, but generally you have to let go of that negativity of your past, your identities, the government, the politics, the commercials in the supermarket, and really got to make actual real efforts to smile and be happy. Give people compliments. All right, that's how you turn yourself from a glass half empty to a glass half full kind of person. All right, really trying to embrace nature, the fact we are living and we're alive and we're in this country, this great country. Oh, it's not the best country in the world maybe, but it's pretty darn good compared to some of the other countries. So we've got a lot to be grateful for. And if you can turn your mindset around from that jaded, negative, resentful, old person kind of attitude, and you start playing young people's music, and you observe young people skateboarding or coming up with great ideas or just being alive in the community, it gives you a sense in your heart, a sense of hope for the future, hope for the young generation. Because I imagine there was lots of times during the Great Depression or in 2008 depression that we all thought, oh, the world's going to come to an end. Oh, there's going to be civil action and civil riots and things like that. And yes, there is a lot of negativity on the news. And yes, there is a lot of bad stuff around the world and sometimes in a city not far away. But there's also a lot of love. How many times is it on the news that women have given birth and had children and brought love into their life? How many times have people gone on the TV and said, oh yeah, I just got a really great promotion. I love my boss. The company I work for is brilliant. It doesn't happen. You know, a lot of what you consume, whether it's the media, social media or regular media, a lot of it sells because it's negative. So you got to balance it out yourself in your head. You know, you've been to a foreign country, you've seen loads of people having fun on the beach, you've seen children and dogs playing. There's a lot of happiness and energy in the world out there. And you got to make a positive energy to stay happy and positive, because there is a lot of hope for our children, a lot of hope for our young people, you know, because they're going to be leading the country. They're going to be driving the next generation forward. But in reality, there is a lot of happiness and amazing things going on. You've just got to look for it, because the media bombards you with all the crap. If you can push past it, you'll see there's a lot of amazing, brilliant young people out there doing lots of great things for the planet, for the world, and for our own country. You just got to look for it. All right, so that's it for today. That's all I was going to tell you about. People don't care about you, but you need to care about yourself and about giving back to young people and well, people in general. Just giving out love, compliments, energy, and happiness. Even just a smile. Come on, what does it cost to smile? You know? It's so natural. So bring some humor, bring some smile, bring some compliments. You know, you want to be that person that helps other people, to elevate other people. Not the person that pushes somebody over the edge and giving them a shit day. So be that happy person. Be that star, that brightness in somebody's day. All right, that's it for now. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye-bye for now. Ah, you're still here. Okay. Right. Well, if you're interested in knowing a bit more about me, I do have another YouTube channel, but it's for people learning English, non-native English speaking. And I've been spending a bit of time learning Google Ads and promoting the channel. And specifically, what's the word you got to do? Testing. So I tried out one video and I pumped in some money into that. And I've learned quite a lot. And I had massive amount of views from it. But again, it was sponsored. So I suppose it doesn't really count. But yeah, that's what I've been doing this week. I've been learning about Google Ads. I'm house sitting again, which is great. I'm making plans for the future. But other than that, not a huge amount has changed. Done some more work on the website. I got a website. And I've also got Buy Me a Doffy. Buy Me a Doffy? Doffy? What's a Doffy? BuyMeACoffee.com at Tribal Man Club. So there's a few things happening at the moment, a few changes, but not a lot. So still ticking along. In the next couple of months, I'm going to start investing more and more into promoting that channel. And what I want to do is obviously get it to be self-sustaining and maybe even be able to give me a little bit of money to, you know, help with my finances. Because trying to be a digital nomad is not an easy thing. You've got to do a bit of juggling and being a little bit on the ball of moving things around and seeing what's on special, etc. and things like that. And sometimes you got to do a bit more of what you don't want to do, just so in the future, you know, you can do a bit more of what you do want to do. But that's life, I suppose. Other than that, yeah, I'm really healthy. Things are going well. I'm looking for another challenge. If you've got any ideas for another challenge I can do in this country, I've just done the 3 peaks. I'd like to do something else again, but not sure what yet. If you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments below. All right, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.